We are today with another exciting video, malware analysis, with the sponsorship of our friends of Any.Run. Today, we will do the analysis of another type of malware, different, that is called AgentTesla. If you want to know where to download samples from, in the previous video related with, which was the one we analyzed previously, I already tell you which one we analyzed previously. The red line explain where you can download samples from if you want. And even from the same Any.Run platform, you can download samples. So let's get started. Let's click here. I'm already registered. And we're going to deliver the sample to the Any.Run sandbox. So let's create a new task here. And here is the malicious executable that we are going to analyze. We're going to analyze it on a Windows 7 machine from 32 bits, which is the one that allows us the free account. Thanks to the courtesy of Any.Run. Well, we could run on other machines, but so we can all see exactly the same thing. I am going to run on the machine that whatever account you think is going to allow you. So let's take that machine and then create the public execution. Remember that when you run with free accounts, it is public what you're doing. So look, here are HTTP repeats. There are connections. Look, this malware is executing certain connections. Look at the port 1900 to 137. This is internal. Look, this is internal. This is the IP probably of the machine we are using inside Any.Run. This is external. No, these are not external. Excuse me. These are internal as well. This one is external to the 443. Look, it connected to a US address by the 443. As if it was doing, look, it did connect to a domain to API ipfi.org. IPORs must be to collect the IP of the machine. They are compromising. Let's see what that's about. That, I haven't seen it. fi.org, what is it for? Oh look, gives you the IP address of the machine you are using. Yeah, see. That's what we figured. Done. Look, let's continue here. And makes a connection to email in Canada, in theory in Canada, to an email that is malicious. In fact, look, already here is marked as malicious. There are some connections that, this is local, so it doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. But this one is malicious, and it's very interesting email. Very, very, very interesting. To this quantumgenerics.com service. I don't know if it's a domain that cyber criminals created for the scam that they're doing. Let me change a setting. Adjust a setting on my machine and we visit that domain. I find it interesting. Let's see. Then, these quantum generics come. What will that be? Quantumgenerics.com. Suddenly, they compromised. The domain has a risk level. Registered. It may be a fake page, the truth, and it may be a fake domain. I don't know. The important thing is that it is marked as malicious, and it is over port 587, it is SMTP, is trying to send a super interesting email. And look here at once already, the sandbox tells us that it detected AgentTesla. AgentTesla has been detected by Yara. If you are not familiar with what Yara is on my YouTube channel, I have a super complete video explaining what Yara is, how it works, and how you can take advantage of it. It is totally free too, and it is very useful for malware analysis. Check my channel, there you will find Yara. Well, here are some DNS requests. Of course, look at the API ipfi.org to those and the request or DNS resolution against the Quantum Generics email server that I don't know if they are compromised again or not. And look, threat. We have malicious activities like, for example, a DNS request. There you can see them. Let's increase here. And so external information. Recorded from IP. Yes, sure. That's something that is not normal. Let's say an application normally doesn't look for your IP. That's why it marks it as a threat. A threat. Okay, this with the connections. Here, we can see if we want to see the video. Here, it tells us that there are some processes created, a manual launch, but it doesn't seem to execute much. So visibly, there is nothing on our machine. Like most malware, the malware creators try to hide what they are doing. It is not that they're going to give you 20 warnings saying I am infecting you, watch out, now I am downloading a worse file. No, they are not going to do that to you. So here it is, not showing us much of anything, but well, we still have it. Let's go to the right side, where we have the different processes. Well, one important thing as always. Here you will be able to see the content. Here I hope you can see my mouse pointer. I did not put the little circle to the mouse pointer. Let's see if I do it quickly. If I still do not have it, because I remove and put things in my machine all the time, so I do not know if I have the mouse pointer here. 1 second, let's see if we find it. And if not, well, it does not matter. I think I removed it. Well, so, I hope you can see my mouse pointer. Here, look, you guys can download the traffics. Look, if you want, you can download the traffic. You can see it. We did this last time. We can see in text. Look, downgrade. Interesting downgrade. We can look at it here. This is very common. Okay? Well, here you can see it, and you can even, in some cases, download it. So, well, here we see the different traffics. Here you can see it. Does the pickup let us download it? No, not in this case. Let's go back. Done. Okay. Then, if I want to download it, I can do it. Anyway, but let's see. Host. Look, here are the hosts. Schemas, PNP, device media server. Undiscover, simple service discovery protocol. Okay. That's very common on that IP. That part is common. Too bad there's no data on this one, at least on this part of the email, which is the one I'm most interested in, which is the malicious one. Well, ready. Let's go to the processes. Look, this first executable process, here we have it, at once already tells us the command line that was executed. Look, there you can see it. Ramen data local temp, as usual in a temp. And the executable, we see that it is dangerous. Here's more information if you want, So he tells us that, look, he's using the task scheduler, the task manager, or the task scheduler, to create a task later on. And there we can see what the task is. Look, here they tell us. Schedule task, X, which is the task scheduler, and it tells us the task, look, is going to create a task that is going to be called updates JBHC. How nice. And so is going to run this user's admin app data local temp, the temp file. You see? Is this very common behavior in malware to use the task scheduler to run something later, to arouse less suspicion? See, these are the MITRE codes, as you can see, time-based evasion. What I just told you, time-based evasion and schedule task. So what happens? They use task later in time to execute, for example, downloads or a query or collect data, etc. It is very common within malicious techniques. Look, here is the matrix, MITRE's matrix, where he explains each of the parameters at the scheduled task level. They can be used for execution, for persistence, for escalation, for privilege, and well, for several things. There you can see it. This is very interesting. The part of the MITRE's attack matrix, if you find it interesting. If there is enough people, I'll make a video explaining in detail the attack matrix. Well, ready. We can even go back here, and we will be able to see the same information. Look here. The task scheduler shows us the command that is running, and we can ask for more information here. We will tell you more info. There you see. Okay. Here about that part of running it. Well, there is no task, but here there is no verdict. But what is malicious is definitely to create that task, scheduled to be able to run something later. So, look at the interesting thing that comes. this part here. And this is where you get to detect the law in Tesla. As you can see, look at the 3500, child process 3500. Remember that the parent process here is 3436. Then he invokes the 3504 and the 3500. Here we can see what each thing does. Look, you have these little tiny icons here. These indicators, look. Here you can see a little that the task contains process dumps, has malicious content that is known to be bad. Here it tells us with it only position us. It is telling us what is each one. You see email with a behavior similar to spam. As you can see, here it marks us, for example, that it has actions similar to steal personal data, and that uses many applications, runs several applications. Ready? Look here in Rex BCS. X. This is an instruction that comes with the framework normally of Microsoft that serves to make installations related to the registry when you suddenly are not so familiar with an instruction, etc. Well, you can look it up, right? You can search for recommendations. X. Here we have it. Let's see. 1 second. I believe that I already had it open, one of my browsers, because I wanted to show it. X. Okay. Normally, as I comment, this is a library. It is a Microsoft file. It is a Microsoft executable, but it can be used for different things. As for example, look, load, and apply changes, for example, of registers in assembler. It generates registers, installs libraries, type. Inside a COM, for example, inside the COM. Inside the object model. Configures services. For example, does several things that can be very useful for a malware, as you can see. Then, so interesting and important that if you are not so familiar with one of the processes or files that are running, then investigate it. Here we can see something very interesting. Look here, it gives us, for example, P, configuration in DMP. Then we can see, for example, the portable, executable. Already this we speak in another video of what is a file, executable, of the portable, executable, and of its components. Here we see the components. We can see here the hexadecimal part. This is an MZID. This I already explained it in the previous video. Take a look at the previous video. Of that we had already spoken. And we see here a little of the strings that I can see them in text. A little of the strings that it has. Look, here is rexec. You see? Here we find it. Use ace exception, resource, fx assembly, blah, 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 as strings. System application exception. Well, here we can see a little bit of the detail, what it is trying to do. Get registration, dump exceptions, copyright information, Silverlike public key. Well, ready. What else do we have here? CFG. If there is a configuration file related to this task, it's going to show it to us. Look, what a beauty. This one related to email. Look at the protocol it is using. Here you can see it very clearly. It is using the CMTP protocol to connect to this email server, to the mail quantum generics, COM by the port 587 SMTP encrypted. And the username M. Johnston, quantum generics, COM and the password quantum, 2021. There shows us the configuration file that is using for the connection. Do you see? You see the detail I gave you is awesome. It's a beauty. Ready? We have the DOM here. We could do the download of what's there. See, we could download what is being sent, for example, or what is being received. Well, in this case, it is a SMTP. So, look, here I have it. And well, it is a zip. So look, here I have it. And then, well, it is a zip. Is a zip that I can unzip. I have several here. Okay, I'm going to unzip it. The password is infected. It automatically gives it to us as infected. And I'm going to open this dump. And I will show you with a text editor, like for example, Atom, to see what gives us that dump. Look, an executable. This is an executable file. As you can see, MZ, there is the signature. And well, this is an executable. Without a doubt. Then you could analyze this executable independently. But let's see. What does this do? advapi 32 kernel. Okay, remove change, get last, modified backing field, blah blah blah. Post, graph. This is to take the IP. You can try to understand a little bit what it is doing. But hey, the sandbox is delivering it all to us. Look here. Look, the API connection, API, we see it there. There we see that very interesting information. Core FTP, interesting too. Password pass, core FTP software, site user software, host. It seems that there is something additional that suddenly was not reached to execute there related to the core FTP. Interesting. Look, there are several password user, or it's trying to find the password. Look, this is Yandex, browser, data, Orbifox. It's kind of trying to gather information about the machine. That's what that executable is trying to do. Okay, ready. Let's close the atom there. It's a stealer, isn't it? We knew that. So, well, you can download the executable and analyze it if you want to. As you can see, we already saw that. And we also have the WinCFG, the Windows Media Player, for sharing information, is very common. So look, with this, so it reads the machine name, it reads the computer name, of course, the supported languages, very common as well. And well, a manual run. Again, you can download the sample from here. You can see the indicators of compromise. It lists them there. Look, here it shows us the malicious, the connection against this MTP domain. We also see the part of the text report that gives us all the information in detail. Look, it is an agent. It is collects information about the victim's actions and records your typing and interactions. It markets itself as a legitimate software where malware is sold. Well, AgentTesla is a stealer. There we know. The activities, look at all the malicious stuff it does. It drops executables when it starts, uses the task scheduler, as we already saw. It steals credentials from web browsers. We've already pasted a bit of that. AgentTesla has been detected by Yara. We already talked about this too. And well, all the suspicious part, here we see it. It reads the internet configuration, uses a normal Windows executable, reads information about the system certificates, accesses the Outlook profiles of the machine, and connects, and uses the CBCS. The information reads the name of the machine, manual execution. There is all the information. And here you see the configuration files. This we had already seen, the static information of the executable. The video that, as you saw, well, at the beginning it showed us there is what he did initially, but then obviously does not let us see anything. Ready. Processes that ran 39 monitored processes 2 malicious. And here you see a little detail. Look, the executable. And the task scheduler, that if you click here, it takes us to the task scheduler. There, you see everything. You see its libraries, without problem. And Eliente is the one that is using the reg SBN. Truth, there you have it. All the information of the malware. Further down, we see the registry activity. Look at everything it does. Deleting keys, deleting writing, look at proxy bypass, writing. File activity, look at our executables. And that one we saw was related to the topic of the task, execution of scheduled task. Well, look. Here we see the connections that makes API IP-Fi to know which is your IP, and well, there is perfect. Well, as always, I hope you have found it interesting. As you can see, it's exciting and it is great. All the amount of information that gives us, of huge information that gives us the tool. And well, as always, take care and always learn everything you can. See you in the next video.